Hey everyone, welcome to SAIL, which stands for Surviving Abuse in Life. My name is Llewellyn. Before I get started on tonight, I just want to let you know, for some reason, my comments have been disabled. I don't know why. I went in to look. I don't know why they're not there. So if you need to question, answer, want to comment on something, or you don't know, or you have questions, whatever, you can email me at llewellynsliterature@gmail.com. So I want to start out by saying, hi, my name is Llewellyn. I am an abuse survivor. And I am not a professional. I am not a counselor. I am not a therapist. I am not a doctor. I cannot diagnose anyone, nor can I prescribe medication. I'm not perfect. I am a child of God, and I believe in God. I'm not here to push my beliefs on you. I'm just sharing what I know and why I feel the way I do. Um, Tonight, I'm going to be in chapter 11 in the book, Tiny Steps to Success, The Right Step. This is all about journaling. Tonight is on chapter 11. It is called The 8 Characteristics of Life. Do you know what the characteristics of life are? I didn't until I did some studying on it and some research on it. So I'd like to share it with you. If you do know, by all means, if you can comment. If not, I do apologize. I don't know why I have an error message. Something went wrong. So I don't know why that's the case. So again, I apologize for that. All right. So the 8 characteristics of life are as follows. The first one is authenticity. So, it means just being general, being real, right? So here's what it says. The quality of being authentic, genuine, real, having an authentic smile. No matter what, you should have a willingness to show up as yourself without worrying about what other people may think of you. Being authentic is a core value. And if you don't know what core value is, do your research and look it up. An authentic person is able to stand up and say what they truly believe. Whether it's about God or politics or whatever the case is, please don't fight over it. It really doesn't matter. And someone else's life is really not your concern. It says in the Bible, thou shalt not judge, right? Unless you be judged yourselves by the same standards. So be careful what you do. So here are some characteristics of an authentic person. They have a realistic perceptions of reality. They know their reality. They know what they live or have lived through or whatever the case is. It looks like I see someone in here, so I want to reiterate that for some reason my comments are not coming up, so I apologize. I will not be able to see any comments. I don't know why. So some of the characteristics of an authentic person is have realistic perceptions of reality. They are accepting of themselves and of other people. Now, that doesn't mean that you can do them wrong and they'll still accept you. It just means that, your life is your life. Like with me, I tell people, I don't care what your race is, what your nationality is, what your ethnicity is. I don't care what your sexual preferences or what your political preferences or what your religious preferences. I don't care about any of that. The main thing I care about is how you treat me as a person. And in return, I will, hopefully treat you, if not the same, then hopefully better. They are thoughtful. They have a non-hostile sense of humor. I have a friend that calls me almost every night, and last night, oh my stars, we were hostile to ourselves, not to anyone else. And, we were talking, God, just come back, just send Jesus back now and get me out of here. And we're like, yeah, just our luck. This is, nope, you're going to be staying another 100 years or whatever, So our hostile sense of humor was directed at ourselves, not at anyone else. I don't really call it hostile, really. We were just talking. Okay, so the next one is they are able to express their emotions freely and clearly. I'm still learning how to do that myself. I don't know how to express my emotions because I was always taught not to talk about it. Keep it to yourself. Nobody wants to hear you. Nobody cares about you. And as an abuse survivor, that's hard. It's still hard for me to talk about my feelings. It's hard. And the last one that says is understand their motivations. I still don't know my motivations half the time. Okay, so this is what it truly means to be true to oneself. So if you're ever wondering what an inauthentic people are, here is a list. Inauthentic people are self-deceptive. They're unrealistic in their perceptions of reality. They look to others for approval and to feel valued. They're judgmental of other people. They do not think things through clearly. They have a hostile sense of humor. Go figure, right? They are unable to express emotions freely and clearly. They are not open to learning from their mistakes. Me, I don't want to learn from my mistakes because I don't want to do it again. It may be that I accidentally hurt someone's feelings. I don't mean to hurt people on purpose. Okay, let me rephrase that. Maybe a few people have hurt me, really bad, and I'm still learning to forgive them. Just joking, kind of. And they do not understand their own motives or what motivates them. Okay, so authenticity is about the qualities that show healthy, non-defensive functioning. So these are the qualities we all need to do and look for in others. So what does being authentic mean to you? This is a good time to get a journal out, put today's date on there, and write that down. What does being authentic mean to you? And if you can comment, by all means, go ahead and comment. But right now, I don't see any comments, so I greatly apologize for that. So that's the first one. So if you have authenticity in your life, if you're an authentic person, that's great. That's a great characteristic to have. The second one is drive. We all need to have that drive. So your ability to stay motivated or focused, keep on going no matter what. I don't always have that. I have to throw a little temper tantrum, give up for a day or two, and then come back to it and go, okay, I can't give up. Like when it came to writing my books, you have no idea how many times I just wanted to throw my computer out the window because it wasn't going the way I thought it should. But I eventually came back and finished the books. So the drive. So your ability to stay motivated, like I said, and keep going no matter what. So two of the most important factors when it comes to achieving success in every aspect of your life is drive and determination. You have to have that, whether you want to finish school, or maybe there's a job that you really want, or maybe there's a car that you really want, or maybe it's in a relationship, with a mother, father, brother, sister, cousin, aunt, uncle, whatever, husband, girlfriend, I don't care. You have to be able to stay focused, be authentic, right? Be real, be in the moment. Sometimes it's hard. So everyone has dreams and aspirations, which they hope to achieve in life. But those who go on and attain these goals, they have an unwavering drive and determination. I haven't reached any of my goals yet, guys. I don't have that drive and determination. Some days I just want to skip through life and go, I made it through another day. And with the mental health challenges that I have, that's probably a success right there. Sometimes having drive means to remain focused. It can take a lot of time for you to achieve your dreams, and there are times it seems it will never happen. But this is where you need to remain focused on the end goal, whether this is in your personal or professional life. Even when it seems a long way off, it's especially important to keep focused and let this drive and determination guide you. Do you have that drive and determination to let that guide you to see your end results, your end goals? Oh, I hope you do. I hope you're better than me on that one. So keeping a positive mindset is a factor that goes hand in hand with drive and determination. Remaining positive, even when things aren't going your way, you can maintain that determination to help you go forward and to succeed. So make sure you always give 100%. Hands down, right? So being committed to achieving your dreams and goals means not cutting corners. You can't take the easy way out. Doing what needs to be done to achieve it, even if it takes years, months, weeks, whatever it takes, right? You just got to keep going. If you are not prepared to go above and beyond to do the necessary work, which will be harder, even harder than you expected, then success will be hard to come by. Yeah. You just can't give up. I don't know how many times I've given up and started again. And this right here is a good example. I started this, I want to say in 16, and I quit for a couple of years, and now I'm back again, right? Because I didn't think anyone was listening to them or watching them or anything like that, and I realized that I need to do it for me more than anyone else. Because I guess in a way, this is like my journaling. It helps me remember the basics. It helps me remember that I'm okay. Right? All right. So, are you all in? Are you ready to go above and beyond anything and everything you know or knew in order to reach your dreams and goals? Again, take out your journals, write those questions down. Do I have 100% drive and determination to see my dreams come true? I say perseverance, right? So that's number 2. That's the second characteristic. Do you have that? I know I don't. I don't. The third one, you ready? Number 3 is courage. You need courage. Your willingness to share your life experiences over and over and over again to hopefully help others as well as yourself requires dedication. 100% drive and determination. And that's what I have here. I have the courage to come to you guys as I do these videos and tell you that I am an abuse survivor. I've been sexually abused and verbally abused and mentally abused and emotionally and verbally and financially and spiritually and. Did I do those to my children? I did not sexually abuse my kids. I chose a different path. And you do too. You have choices in life. You can choose what is right, or you can do what is wrong. Just because you've had bad experiences in life, I've had bad experiences from growing up. Does it mean I want to do those bad things to other people? No. Sometimes, don't get me wrong, sometimes, but I know better. And I hope you do too. And I hope you make the right choice, do the right thing, no matter who's watching. Have that drive and determination to always be better than the next person or be better than you were the day before. That's always the best way to do it. Don't compare yourself to others. Compare yourself to you way back when, right? So courage means to have the ability to do something that frightens you and strength in the face of pain or grief. Courage is an attribute of good character that makes us worthy of respect. So here's a few examples of courage. Feeling fear, yet choosing to act. We're going to do it anyway. I fear heights, but I stood on a bridge. I was scared to death of heights. Following your heart. Is it the right move? I followed mine and married a wonderful man, even after being abused. Because if you don't take a chance, you may miss the boat sometimes. Standing up for what you know is right or wrong. If you know something is wrong, stand up and say, hey, that's wrong. If you know something is right, stand up and say, hey, I know this is right. Only you can do that. I can't do it for you. So having courage includes the risks you're willing to take in order to work through your emotional pain. So again, take out your journal and ask yourself, are you ready to go above and beyond anything to reach your courage? To, what's the other one there? To have your drive and determination, to have your authenticity. Are you ready? Right? Which leads me to number 4, which is perseverance. You need I can't even talk now. No, you need presence. You have to be present in the moment. So being present means it's the state or fact of existing, occurring, or being present in a place or thing. So being here in the moment, right? Being alive and knowing what's going on around you. Don't have that cell phone in your hands. Look at people when they talk to you. If you're having a meal, don't be on that phone. There's people right in front of you, right? So being in the moment is the foundation for your healing to start. And once you realize that you can choose your thoughts, you get to choose those thoughts, right? I know it's hard. Trust me, I know it's hard, but you get to choose those thoughts, and hopefully wisely, because it will help you with your mental clutter. Now, one of my books is called Not Alone, Not Forgotten. It talks all about the mental health challenges. And I say challenges because I don't want to say issues. We all have issues of other things. And I don't want that one to be an issue. I just want it to be a challenge to let you know that you can walk on hot coals and still get through it, that you can climb a rope and still get up, that you can climb a ladder and still be able to get back down from it because you're worthy. These are just challenges, and you can work through them all. All right. So, personal presence is not to be confused with arrogance. Do not confuse that with arrogance whatsoever. Rather, that people with strong personal presence radiate a magnetic energy which seems to connect with everyone around them. So be present if you possibly can, whenever you can. It's better to have friends here than here. Just saying. So make sure you have a clear vision of a long-term goal. And again, the long-term goals don't have to be business related. It can be professional, it can be personal, it can be, religious, it can be whatever it is, right? Make sure that you have that clear goal. So make sure you get your journal out and you write down, have a clear vision. What are your long-term goals? Your values. Consider what is truly important to you. What values do you have that you can keep in here and in here to keep you present on whatever is going on around you, right? And then you need purpose. That's going to be the confidence from knowing the direction you wish to take. And again, journal. I hate how my computer does that. How can you be present? How can your presence help you and others? How can that happen? All right. So being present, number 4, takes us to number 5, which is empathy. So these are characteristics, right? The 8 characteristics of our lives. What characteristics do you have, right? So empathy, it means to have the ability to understand and share the feelings of another. When my daughter calls me, I empathize. Oh, my stars, I do when she's having trouble with her boys. Yeah, that's you, child. I can tell her all about it because I feel the pain because I was there. Sometimes you were in those situations, but sometimes you can still feel, ooh, they did what? Ooh, ow, you empathize with them, right? So it's also about being aware and open to your feelings. It's about understanding what your feelings are or were at the time of whatever trauma, abuse, mental challenge that you may have had, as it will also help you process all of it. Empathy is the ability to recognize, understand, and share the thoughts and feelings of another person. If you were in here, please send likes. For some reason, I don't know why, but I can't see comments. It says something went wrong, and I don't know what it is. I went in trying to fix it, but for whatever reason, it just didn't work. So I don't know why I cannot get comments. So I apologize. I don't know how to fix that. I thought I did, but I obviously did not. All right. So empathy is the ability to recognize, understand, and share the thoughts and feelings of another person. It's having the ability to step into the shoes of another person, aiming to understand their feelings and perspectives, and to use that understanding to guide our actions. We don't know other people's life. Maybe they're arrested. Maybe they're homeless. We don't know their stories. So how can you judge those when you have never walked in their shoes? You really shouldn't. You may hear things of other people, from other people. And if you believe those stories without concrete evidence, what kind of a person does that make us? Right? So, if you're anything, and I wrote this, if you're anything like me and you are a highly empathic person who has the insatiable curiosity, right, about strangers, oh, yes, I go up to people and I start talking, probably much to my husband's dismay, let me tell you. But empaths will talk to people sitting next to them, having retained the natural inquisitiveness that we all had as children, which society or parents is so good at getting us to stop. Don't talk to strangers. But sometimes when they're crying, or, you know, I've been watching these reels on Facebook where they do video studies of people, right? So this one woman's pretending to be in labor. She's bent over, holding her stomach, and several people go by, several people go by, several people go by. And finally, one person comes over and says, "Here, let's get you situated down. What's going on?" And they come over and say, "Hey, you're on like candid camera type deal, right?" Or maybe it's someone pretending to have Parkinson's, and they're shaking and they can't take a drink or whatever, then somebody finally feels sorry for them. It takes several people for somebody does that. Or maybe they do a child on the street that's cold, and lots of people just ignore that child till somebody finally steps up and says, "Here, take my coat," and it has to be another homeless person, right? So don't be afraid to talk to people. Don't be afraid, especially if you're out in public, because hopefully someone will see what's going on if they decide to hurt you or whatever. Hopefully they don't. But I'm just saying, sometimes we got to take that chance of help others. We're all human. We all need that contact, right? So there are 2 traits required for being an empathic conversationalist. One is to master the art of radical listening. Being present to what is really going on within, to the unique feelings and needs a person is experiencing in that moment. Empaths listen hard to others and do all they can to grasp their emotional state and needs. Sometimes it's hard for me. I'm sitting next to someone and they're sharing their story, and it's hard because I feel what they feel sometimes. Not always, because sometimes I try to block that out. I'm like, no, I'm not gonna do that. But those times when I can't block it out, or I'm in a vulnerable position, or whatever the case is, vulnerable time, and someone comes up and I can feel everything they're feeling and they're talking to me, it's like just overwhelming. It's like that anxiety attack coming on. But they need you to listen. Sometimes that's really hard. Sometimes listening is not enough. It's not. So the second trait is to make ourselves vulnerable by removing our masks, right? And revealing our feelings to someone, because it's vital for creating that strong empath bond. With me saying, "I've been abused," and someone says, "Oh my God, so have I," and I haven't been able to talk to anyone because nobody understands. I always get people, "Why didn't you leave?" Where was I going to go? I had 3 kids. I was told that I was a bad mom. So where was I going to go and not have my kids taken away from me? Did I know that? No, it took me years. But my story is not your story, and your story is going to be something totally different, but it might be similar in a lot of ways, that you couldn't leave either for whatever reason. Or maybe you left, but you kept going back. You'd leave, go back, leave, go back. I've done that. I've left and I've gone back because, one, I was scared. Really, it was all I knew, But we have to remember that their story is not our story, but that we can still relate to them in some way, shape, or form. All right. So being an empath is a 2-way street that is built on mutual understanding of sorts, like having an exchange of our most important beliefs and experiences. Empaths are far and above the empathizing. Empaths is far and above the empathizing with others. It's empathizing with people whose beliefs and experiences we do not have anything in common with, in order to understand their thinking and motivations, to be there for them, understand them, and to hopefully help them understand others. So that's number 5. Number 6 is self-compassion. So again, these traits, these 8 characteristics of life, are something that we all need. And there's going to be more, don't get me wrong. I just stated 8 because I felt that any more would probably just blow our minds, going, "Oh my stars, why do I need all this," right? So, number 6 is having self-compassion. The understanding that you are doing the best that you can, removing pressures and heavy expectations that you put on yourself. I put a lot of self-pressure on myself. Am I making this right? Am I writing this correctly? Will people understand what I'm trying to say? There's so much pressure. Oh, my stars, am I doing it right? So we have to understand that we have to have compassion for ourselves. Because it's really no different than having compassion for others. Would you want your friend to put the same pressure on them that you put on yourself? No. Hey, don't be so hard on yourself. Do not be hard on yourself. I'm hard on myself enough for both of us, right? It's probably what we're thinking sometimes. So self-compassion involves responding in the same supportive and understanding way you would a good friend. I just said that. When you have a difficult time or when you notice something you don't like about yourself. We are our worst critics. We are our own worst critics. I mean, whether it's our hair's not perfect or I don't know, our nails aren't long enough, or I don't wear makeup, or oh man, they look beautiful, I don't, look at me. Don't do that. Do not compare yourself to others. Do not put all that heavy expectations on yourself of being prettier or having a softer voice or no second chin, or just be your authentic self. So it's okay to acknowledge your pain, anger, hurt, joy, happiness, or whatever feelings that you feel. It's okay. It really is. Having compassion for yourself really is a must. It really is a must. So I'm sure you're kind to your family and friends, and maybe with some strangers, right? Probably more so for strangers than your family and friends, but still, mainly family and friends when they're going through a tough time, or maybe when they say something negative about themselves and you stick up for them, right? Why not stick up for yourself? It's time that you do that on you. Caring about yourself just means change, and change means you're moving towards a happier and healthier you. That's all it really means. So that's number 6. So make sure you journal about that. You have to have that self-compassion. You need to be your own friend. You need to tell yourself, look in the mirror. And I'm going to use my name for an example, but you use your own name when you do it. You look at yourself and you go, Llewellyn, you've got this. You don't need to have that expectation. Whatever that expectation is that you're experiencing, right? You don't need to have that heavy weight on you. Take that weight off. You've got this. You don't need that, or whatever needs to be said, right? All right, so that was number 6. Number 7 is vulnerable. Being vulnerable means the quality or state of being exposed to the possibility of being attacked or harmed either physically or emotionally. Yeah, we all get attacked. I don't know how many times on social media I've been called old and haggard, and I don't know whatever else they've called me. And I am old. I've got 6 grandkids, people, but it's okay. Because that just means I have more experience under my belt than you probably do. All right, so you want to make sure that you celebrate the things that keep us human. Include the imperfections and mistakes that we make, and hopefully we learn from them. It's really important that we try to learn from those mistakes. So it helps us learn, helps us grow. Being vulnerable means that you're choosing to not hide your emotions or desires from others. It means you freely express your thoughts, feelings, and desires. Being vulnerable is having the courage to show up and be seen and heard when we have no control over the outcome. I became vulnerable when I met my husband on an online dating site and decided that I was going to do this. I really had no intention of marrying anyone back then. I was like, no, done. I had one abusive marriage. I'm not going to do this again. I'm not going to put my kids through this again, right? I fought for my children. I got full custody of my children. I was not going to put my kids through something like that again. And when I finally opened up to this man, it was like the best thing that's ever happened. Did I have to go through a lot of frogs to get there? Yeah, but I found my prince. All right. So everyone is vulnerable, no matter how much they try to avoid it. We are all born vulnerable. We come out, we're nude, we're screaming, probably cold after coming out of that womb, right? And we stay that way during our entire childhood. We rely on people to feed us, to care for us, teach us to walk and talk and dress and bathe us, and so much more. We have that vulnerability from being an infant all the way up. And then when they get to be about 4 or 5, sometimes younger, depending on the child, they want to do things themselves. And it's hard for us parents to let them do things on their own. So hard. To embrace vulnerability as your greatest strength, you will need to become more aware of your pain points. So vulnerability involves healing your fractured parts by merging with the wholeness of your being. Sometimes we want to keep the pain separate from us somehow, and sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. I can't explain how I've done it, but I've done it. And once in a while it comes back and it's like 100-fold, and we don't want to do that. Being in counseling, my counselor says that it happens all the time. It's more common than you realize to have someone think that they're healed. I'm guilty. And then something happens like a domino effect, and all of a sudden you're just so overwhelmed with all these emotions going, how do I do this? How do I do that? And it may not be mental. It might be the physical body remembering stuff that has happened to you in the past, and you have no clue why your body's doing that. I had clues. I knew what was going on. I just didn't know how to help myself. But with my counselor, things are turning up. So where am I? Oh, yeah. So make sure you take your journal out again and you write, about being vulnerable. How can I embrace vulnerability? Write that out, right? So now we're going to be on the last one, which is number 8, resilience. Now, this is the capacity to recover quickly from difficulties and toughness. Sometimes I have it and sometimes I don't. I think a lot of it for me just depends on what is going on, but that's just me. Why don't you tell me about you and how things like that are? I really wish my comment section was open because I would love to hear from you guys. To be resilient is to adapt well in the face of adversity, trauma, tragedy, mental health, whatever. It could be family or relationship problems, serious health problems for you, a loved one. It could be in your workplace, financial stress. No, I don't know if you know this or not, but you nor I came with instructions. There's no books for children or adults for that matter. No manuals, and no one to tell others what our needs are, where we live, etc. No, there is no life map. So we have to learn, right? We have to experience our own life, our own twists and our turns and our hills and our mountains and our valleys, everyday challenges and impacts. And whew, just take a breath, just breathe. And each change affects people differently. Yet generally we do adapt over time. How do you adapt? What things have you had to go through to adapt? What roller coaster ride did you have to be on in order to adapt or to learn, to grow? So there's many aspects of your life that's pretty much like riding an emotional roller coaster or more. But in the end, becoming more resilient not only helps you get through difficult circumstances, but it also helps you grow and improve your life journey. So all these 8 characteristics, which ones do you need to strengthen? Write it down, right? Take the time to realize that your 8 characteristics, your authenticity, your drive, courage, presence, empath, right? Self-compassion, vulnerability, and resilience. Out of those 8, which ones do you need to strengthen? And then write which ones you need to strengthen and possibly how you can achieve it. And then above all, make sure you celebrate that you wrote this down and that you did this, right? So that's going to be the end of chapter 11 right now. Remember that you are not alone. You are worthy. You are enough. And you don't have to face things alone. Find a counselor, a life coach, a therapist, a doctor, someone you can talk to, someone you can trust that's not going to go take and spread it all over the world. You and you alone can find someone that you can trust. You ask questions, especially with professionals. You ask them questions. What is your success rate? How long have you been doing this for? Have you helped someone like me that needs XYZ, whatever it is? Mine was trauma, whatever it is. You ask that professional those questions and you tell them, I need someone like this. Maybe you need someone that empathizes with you a little more, cuddles you. Or maybe you're like me and have someone say, no, you're doing it wrong. This is what you need to do. Sometimes I'd rather have it black and white. Tell me where I stand. Tell me what I need to do. Right? But whatever case you do, just remember, you're not alone. All right, everyone. Thanks for being here. Remember, God loves you and so do I. Hope to see you next week.